Right now, you can get 10% off retail orders of comic supplies from bcwsupplies.com when you use the promo code ScottyD at checkout.
And there's no space between Scotty and D.
BCW Supplies. Protect, store, display. Princess Leia, Part 5. Following the destruction of her home planet Alderaan, Princess Leia Organa crosses the galaxy to bring together the survivors of the noble planet. At her side are the trusty pilot Evan and the faithful astromech R2-D2 as the team reaches the planet of Hesperion and another cluster of Alderaanians. After learning that Tace, a young girl aboard the Lord Jun, has unwittingly been leaking information about their plans to her sister, Tula, a captive of the Imperials, Her Majesty decides to take action. The princess agrees to turn herself in to the Empire and their Star Destroyer in exchange for Tula's safe return. Now on the surface of Skaradosh, Leia's allies prepare a daring final rescue.
Hey Web World, Scotty D. Thanks for stopping by to another video here in my comic book series on my channel. And as always, you want to reach out to me, it's very simple to do so. You can email me or tweet me. The email account, scott@scottydonline.com, and the Twitter account is @scottydonline. Both of those are in the video description below for easy find and easy use, as is the promo code for the savings over at bcwsupplies.com that you just seen. And I've added another cost savings thing in the video description below for the Comic Collector Database program. So you can get that in the video description below. Save some money. It's all about having fun with your comics and saving money while you're doing it. And I give you that down in the video description below with much, much more. So if you're only watching the videos, you're only getting half of what I jam pack into all of the content that I bring to you here on my channel. Today we're here to talk about this comic right here. It's Marvel Star Wars Princess Leia number 5. This is the final book in this mini-series, written by Mark Waid, drawn by Terry and Rachel Dodson, and a color in this book was done by Jordi Bellari. Just a really fun mini-series to have in my collection. This is in a BCW Silver Age Mylar bag with a Silver Age backing board. So if you're ever wondering what it looks like, what those sizes look like to a current comic, this is what it looks like. Now, the reason why I do select this size is because the current size bags and boards just seem too tight for me. It just doesn't give me that warm, fuzzy feeling. And I love the Silver Age being that kind of universal size that I use for all of my comics in my collection. This is again, this is a Silver Age Mylar bag and Silver Age backing board. This is the 2 mil. So show it to you real closely. See how it just shows off the comic very, very nicely. Just has a really nice sheen to it, and it's going to last a lot longer than a polypropylene bag. Now, they'll all outlive me by standards of when it will actually break down, but still, it's a great bag and board combination. So if you are looking for some recommendations, this is what I would recommend for you. Now, last we left off in book number 4, we had a quick glance at the Lord Jun in orbit, and we seen a barrage of rebel ships coming to the aid of Leia. At the same time, the exchange of Leia for Tula was taking place on the planet below. And now we join book number 5 in Hesperion, and we're seeing Paris and Jorah on this planet and just about to leave. But before they leave, Paris makes a last-ditch effort to get Bion Bionel to visit with Leia because Leia's got something very important to be said. Now, all of this is happening, and neither one really knows what's happening in parallel, so it's kind of like a very interesting take in the storyline. Now, it doesn't really go as planned for Paris because Bion says, there's probably really nothing that I want to hear from Leia, so it ain't going to happen. So I thought that was very interesting as we're sitting in the last book of the series. How is that going to play out for Leia as this book finishes up? Now, we get a quick jump cut down to Skaradosh, and this is the planet where Leia is doing the exchange for Tula, and when you think that exchanges is going to happen, all of a sudden Evan shows up, blasting away, and then Leia realizes that she's not alone, and the Empire isn't happy about any of this. The Empire's like, you double-crossed us, you're going to pay for this, and a couple of quick moves, and Leia and Tula are now on the escape ship leaving Skaradosh. So a very quick scene that really played out in the last book as being very important. So as we're sitting on the ship with Leia, Tula, and R2-D2 and Nine Num, Tula's not real happy about what's happening right here, which I found strange because she knew she was in trouble with the Empire when she got kind of ratted out that she knew, or the Leia's crew knew who she was and whatnot. So I thought that was strange for Tula to be kind of on a defensive with Leia saying, hey, where are you taking me? And Leia's like, basically, sit down, shut up, or I'm going to backhand you. Which I thought was very funny because they could have added some very colorful language in there, but it's Star Wars, so we know that wasn't going to happen. Now, above in the Empire's destroyer, as Leia is leaving on the escape ship, the Empire's destroyer is up above in orbit, and they're confused on everything that's happening right now. And just when they think that they've destroyed the princess, they're foiled again. So Leia has no idea at this point the number of ships that have come into orbit around her ship, the Lord Jun, that's up in orbit. And these are Alderaanian ships, and she doesn't realize it. And they've shown up while she was down on Skaradosh for that exchange, and she thinks her fleet is small. But then she quickly realizes that it's a lot bigger than she anticipated, and the small, nimble fleet that she thought that she had that could outmaneuver the Empire's destroyer is now quite big, and now they're going to have to do some fancy footwork to get out of this alive. And so Leia is trying to figure all of this stuff out on the ship, and she gets frustrated, and she clears the room of everyone except for Evan. And I thought that was interesting because Evan seems to have relaxed tremendously around Leia as the story has unfolded. And now she's to the point where she's not calling her ma'am anymore. She's not calling Leia her highness or your highness. She's just, having some general conversations with her. And I believe that they have a deeper connection than this story is leading to believe. And perhaps we're going to find out that later. In maybe another book, maybe in a movie, who knows? But Evan seems to be a key new character that we have now been introduced to in this story. Now, Leia and Evan are talking about what needs to be done and whatnot, and Leia now goes on to address the fleet to brace for a battle that they've never experienced before. And really to defend themselves to the end. And then she goes into what I'm reminded of Yoda's do or do not try conversation with Luke later on in his Jedi training. And it really is Leia's Alderaanian stance of a battle cry. She says, we answer rage with wisdom, we answer fear with imagination, we answer war with hope, and a reminder that as long as one Alderaanian survives, Alderaan survives. So it really is that true battle cry that this could end up really bad. So whatever we have to do to survive, let's survive. And if one of us survives, we all survive. So definitely a battle cry in this part of the book. And all of the ships start taking on fire at this point, when all of a sudden there's an Esperion ship that engages with a captain that says, I've got enough firepower, I'll take on this. And Leia says, not without me. So it's really a battle of all efforts to defend everybody. And then when the battle is over, almost too quick in my opinion, and very uneventful. It happens in like one page and we're done with the big battle. And I realize they have limited number of pages in these comic books, but still, they could have done a better effort to play that out a little bit more. And she finds out that Bionel was at that ship's helm doing the battle, and she realizes that the speech that she had given to the Outeranians wasn't kept on a controlled channel. And she's like, well, how did you hear this? And he says, well, we got it blasted down to the surface, and come to find out, R2-D2 is one that transmitted that conversation down to the surface of Asperion, and Bionel got inspired by it and said, hey, look, what you said had me to where I had to get up there and help. So it really is a neat kind of play on where the storyline was going on this. And of course, at this point, where do we go from here comes up as the book starts to quickly close out. And at this point, Leia and Evan are seen at a party immediately after the battle. It's like, boom, 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 we're at a party. The battle was going on, now we're at a party. It's a lot of jump cuts. Feeling very rushed, if I'm honest. And so they're at this party, and they immediately are now seen in a different part of the ship, which I was like, how did we get here? I felt very disjointed in certain parts of the storyline. It kept seemingly to jump all over the place. And I know that they're wrapping up the book, so I'm like, where's this going to go? There's a lot of quick jump scenes and feeling very rushed. And Leia is basically packing to leave because, we all know in the storyline of Star Wars, she's going to be meeting back up with Han and Luke and R2 and 3PO all being together because they have to go on to do The Empire Strikes Back. That's where the story is really heading to. And so Evan's like, but what are we going to do? Who's going to lead us on our new planet that we're going to be going to? We need a leader, and the Outeranians need their princess. And Princess Leia says to Evan, basically, elect one. I give you the authority to go and elect a new princess. And just make sure that Jorah doesn't become that princess. She's not, of quality in Leia's eyes. So just about this time, we see the book ending with Leia meeting up with Han, Luke, R2, 3PO. They're all together, and then we get a scene back to the ship where Evan's at, and we see Evan now dressed in what appears to be a princess dress with the necklace on, just like we've seen very familiar with Leia. And so that leads me to question, where is this going? Because the book now ends, and Evan seems to be now the new princess leading the Outeranians. So you've got to wonder, is this going to end up in another story? Is there going to be a spin-off? Who is this Evan character now that she appears to be the princess? Just a lot of stuff happening right now at the end of this book, and it leaves you wondering what's next. Not so much with Leia, because we know where that story's going, but why did Evan seem to play a big part in this storyline? And at the end of this story, of this miniseries, Evan seems to be the new princess. Just something to think about, and keeping your eye out, just like I've said with all of the comics in this series from Star Wars as they're releasing new comics this year. Keep an eye out for little nuggets like that could end up in stories later that we see either in book format or movie format. So that's where this book ends. My overall opinion of this series was, mediocre. Not a thrilling series by any means, but definitely one that left you with that, what's going to happen next, and where is Evan going to play into the story, because now she is the new princess on the the new planet with Alderanians. So we'll have to see where this ends up. What did you think of this series? Comment below. Let me know what you think of this series and what you think might come up out of this series. I'd love to see your comments and thoughts around that. Don't forget to share this video with somebody that you know that loves Princess Leia, that loves Star Wars. They might like to get my take on this. And don't forget to go back and watch all of the review videos that I've done on all of the Princess Leia series, as well as all of the other Star Wars comics that have been released so far. You can find them in the comic book the comic book playlist here on my channel. And so definitely do that. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. It's very simple. Just go over to the main YouTube channel page, click on the subscribe icon. After you do that, go to the right of that, click on the cog wheel, enable the updates. That'll let you know when I produce a new video here on my channel. And as always, if you already are a subscriber, thank you so very much for being right there so I can be right here. And if you want to kick it up a notch and be more than a channel subscriber and get some perks and rewards along the way, you can become a channel patron over at patreon.com/ScottyDOnline. Watch the video, read what the campaign's all about, and if you feel so compelled afterwards and you want to get involved, you can submit your contribution, your little input to this channel for as low as $1 a month and get some perks and rewards along the way. I do thank you for being right there so I can be right here until the next video here on my channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, Web World.
If you like the comic book series here on my channel and you want to watch more, it's real simple to do so. All you have to do is go on over to my main YouTube channel page. Once over there, click on playlists. Inside of the playlist area, find comic book collecting. Click on it and all of the videos are right there. It is that simple. Thanks for watching and may the force be with you.